Cancel culture is a problem. It's cancerous, it's annoying, and it is decidedly and provably unchristian. And it needs to go. Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Again, my name is Eric. If you're new here, thanks so much for coming. And today, as you probably guessed, we're talking about cancel culture. Now, it's no secret that cancel culture runs rampant in our society, and this culture is stupid, and it needs to stop. Now I'm going to give you 5 reasons why this whole culture needs to be buried 6 feet under. Immediately, as soon as possible. Number 1, what they are being canceled for could just not even be true. In many cases, at the very least, it's not proven that it's true, but we assume the worst and go ahead and cancel people all the time anyway. Now, just recently, the manga artist Akira Toriyama in Japan passed away, and in particular, his death affected fans of the Dragon Ball franchise, and they mourned his death. But of course, everyone had to bring up the fact that he made a character who looks like this. Now, this character, for those who didn't watch this at any point, is Mr. Popo. And many people accused him of making a character with blackface and being racist as a result. But what they didn't realize is the fact that there is a Hindu deity, which again is very rampant in the eastern part of the world, that religious philosophy, is actually, that looks like this. And both of these deities play various roles within their respective mythologies. The point is that given his culture and history, it's most likely that he based Mr. Popo off of this rather than blackface. So, first of all, again, and this person, again, who basically said this and called him a racist, he did all that for nothing, and he slandered somebody who had just recently died. Number 2 is, it doesn't actually change people. Canceling them doesn't make them rethink and reestablish anything. In fact, it makes them less inclined to. They may keep their mouth shut to avoid any sort of backlash. But when somebody is brave enough to stand up to that trend, all those people are going to gravitate to them and will back them. So, whether they should or not, it's as simple as that. They may at best act like they now agree or have changed, but they haven't actually. So, this sort of idea is just a dumb idea if you're trying to get things to stop. Number 3 is, it's undeniably un-Christ-like. Now, I know what people are going to say, and that, yes, Jesus talked about sin, he talked about people, and he was, he wasn't afraid to call out anybody. And yeah, that's partly right. He had no hesitation to call out those who were prideful, who constantly made others follow rules that were not in the Bible. They constantly said that other people were not as good as them. And the others who constantly had no forgiveness or grace. He also greatly yelled at people who were hypocrites and tried to be something that they weren't and appeared like something that they weren't, and constantly held rules even when harm was being done. But, so yeah, it sounds more like if Jesus were here in the flesh and said, and would be mad at anybody, it would be the cancel culturists. In fact, while he did call out sins of others, and he had no hesitancy whenever he was asked about various topics, he had no questions and simply spoke the truth. The difference is he did not disown people who immediately didn't subscribe to it. Jesus, for example, helped various Gentiles in his travels, and yet Peter and most of the church at large still had trouble accepting them for a long time. Did he remove them from their places of origin or their offices because of that? No. He was very patient. He didn't ever back down. He said, yeah, this is how it is, and this is what you should do. But even when they weren't, he did not just cancel them and throw them off to the side. Even when it took years. So, it's not Christ-like, it doesn't change anybody, and it's tedious. The fourth reason is that this culture encourages victims to take pride in their victimhood status. If the world is going to say mean things to you, then you have the right to cancel them and do other things. Well, I'm sorry, but that sort of thing is never going away. Unless and until Jesus comes back, that is never going to stop. And if you're constantly trying to take pride in being a victim, well, then you will be nothing more than a victim, and you'll be missing out on a lot of life, and you'll also be making life miserable for others. Number 5, it encourages people to rely on external validation. In other words, everybody else has to change or be canceled, rather than you adjusting to the world. The truth is that if you rely on others to change in order to be happy, in order to, if you just allow them and what they're doing to affect you, that's never a good thing. Now, I'm not saying you can't have a preference. Obviously, we would prefer people to say things that we like, but if you're not going to, and if you're not able to, at least to an extent, deal with it, well, you're going to be a very unhappy person. So, to sum up, cancel culture is a trend that needs to be pushed away. The bad ideas are not going to go away. They're just not. Now, they can be, if they are suppressed routinely, then it's just going to attract more people to say, hey, well, you're trying to suppress this person. Maybe there's something good that they have to say. So it doesn't work, especially not in a digital age and the age of the internet. It's a bad tactic. It doesn't work, and most of the time it's over trivial and bad reasons. In many cases, it gives the impression that you can't defend your ideas. So unless that's the impression that you want, then I gotta be honest, you should just stop this whole cancel culture thing if you are participating in it. And if you're a Christian, cancel culture should be the last thing you want. You can combat the ideas, you can say this idea is wrong, fine, say that to your heart's content. But canceling cultures, trying to take somebody's voice away, it almost never works. So thanks again for watching. Hit that subscribe button if you liked what you saw. And tell me more topics that you want to talk about. And I'll see you next time. God bless.